I will be providing information concerning some of the similarities as well as the differences between American culture and the culture of Canada. Canada's proximity to the U.S. border may allow for us to believe that their culture is closer than to ours than any other country. We will discuss aspects of religion, values, language, how time is viewed, differences in gender relations, greetings, and the importance of personal appearance. The goal is to gain a better acquaintanceship of the Canadian culture so that we may more effectively have interpersonal communications with our Canadian counterparts. We'll start with a discussion of deep structure of Canadian culture. English is the primary language. However, the Constitution requires that any laws or information pertaining to government services be written in French as well as English. According to the Canadian Encyclopedia, Christianity is the principal religion. The diverse culture, due to Canada's long history of acknowledging and accepting the traditions and concepts that are distinct to the native cultures of those who have immigrated there, it is appropriate to view the religious atmosphere as one of pluralism. Other religious beliefs are recognized, and the central theme is that there is a creator. Canadians are an individualistic culture. However, they feel great responsibility toward their communities more so than Americans. But regionalism plays is almost the biggest part in Canadian culture as it does in American culture. Basically, where you're from kind of dictates how you feel about things. Um, Quintessential is a United Kingdom based company that offers consultations to business groups concerning differences in cultures. And the insights they offer to the nuances between Canadian provinces and regions, as one of the examples is in the Atlantic provinces, you may find more formal behavior but more rustic living. Whereas in the quote unquote Canada of the future, which is they're calling British Columbia, you'll find a modern culture, and it will be less traditional. The region of Quebec, which is the French region, those citizens are clearly more self-reliant, more individualistic than this culture, to more to the extreme of the rest of Canada. Now we'll discuss some rules and behaviors that will be expected and that you should observe when interacting with in the Canadian culture. First of all, for greeting, the handshake is usually the accepted greeting, just as it is in America. A firm handshake, you should maintain eye contact and offers a genuine smile. When you arrive, you shake the hand of everyone at the meeting, and also when you leave, to shake the hand of everyone at the meeting. Men are allowed to put their hands out to a woman before she extends hers. Usually, the surname would not be used. However, there are special considerations when in Quebec. In Quebec, the language used in business is French, and academic titles are recognized and accompanied with the monsieur or madame that may not be expected in other regions. Also, in Quebec, you would be expected to use the formal pronouns rather than the informal. So, a greeting of "Comment allez-vous" would be more appropriate than "Comment vas-tu," which is informal or some for somebody you're more familiar with. In Canadian culture, you will exchange the business cards once all of the greetings have been completed. And another consideration for Quebec is that you should imprint on the back side of your greeting card of your I'm sorry, your business card. On the back side of your card, you should imprint the same thing but translated in French. And when you present the card to the person, you make sure that the French side is showing so that they know that you did, that they would be able to read and understand your card. When you get cards from people, you should take look at each card individually as the person gives it to you, and to make sure and acknowledge who gave you which card. It is very important to do that. It's kind of rude to if you don't do it. In any instance of disagreement, it should always be handled tactfully, diplomatically, as much as possible. The direct tone that is common to most Americans should be softened so that it does not come off as threatening, and men should wear business suits and ties. Women are expected to be in either conservative suits or dresses. The tone of the meeting may be informal. However, you're expected to be on schedule, you're expected to be on time, and the meetings are organized and they're going to move through the paces of what all needs to be covered in the meeting. Only a small portion of the meeting will have to do with the pleasantries and the introduction. You should be prepared for the meeting by having any facts or information, data to back up any claims you make. And you should not make any claims that you cannot succeed in. You should not use any emotion or rely on emotion, as the Canadians are pretty much going to make the decisions based on logic. The last thing that I will have to say is to make sure, again, to be on time, make sure that you're direct and that you're honest and you don't come across as a phony, and always, always, always be polite. This is all I have for you today. I hope the things that I have shared with you will help you in your communications with Canadians. Thank you.